Hi, I'm Joe Kenniston, and I'm excited to be your new pastor at Forrest Burdette United Methodist Church starting July 1st. And I'm thrilled to be following such a great line of pastors who have served this church in the last few years. In fact, we were staying with one of your former pastors, Bishop Tom Pickerton, at his place in New York when the bishop determined that I was going to be the pastor of Forrest Burdette. And then he was followed by Dan Hogan and Ellis Conley and Ed Grant, and those are all remarkable, effective, gifted pastors. And I want to thank Ed and Brenda for their gracious and welcoming hospitality to the Forrest Burdette Church family. I've been impressed with Forrest Burdette through the years for your reputation as having effective ministry in the church and in the larger community, and the dedicated, committed, passionate spiritual lay leaders that you've had through the years to allow those ministries to blossom. And I can't wait to be a part of that dynamic ministry that we will call ours together. Judy and I both grew up in Huntington. She graduated from Huntington East. I graduated from Huntington High. She went to Marshall. I went to West Virginia Wesleyan. And after we were married, 10 days later, we moved to the Chicago area where I began my theological studies at Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary. You know the school by its Big Ten football name, Northwestern University. After our 3 years there, then we went to Manchester, England, and I served 3 churches in the British Methodist Church, and we lived there for 3 years. And while we were in Manchester, 2 things happened. I fell in love with English football, which we call soccer, and became a big fan of Manchester United. And second thing, we had our first child while we were in England. After we returned to the States, we were appointed to Christ Church United Methodist in downtown Charleston, where I served as an associate. And our 2 younger children were born there. And then we moved to Vienna, and I served Wayside United Methodist for 13 years. We loved being there. The church more than doubled in its size, and we did an addition to the building. And then the bishop appointed us to the coolest small town in America, Lewisburg. And while we were there, we fell in love with the place and the area, and a few years ago we bought a little cabin on the Greenbrier River. For the last 8 years, I have been a member of the cabinet and superintendent of the Southern District, and 5 of those years I've been the dean of the cabinet. And I've loved my work with the bishop and the cabinet, but I'm really thrilled about the opportunity to come and be a pastor in a local church again, and thank God for the opportunity to be with you. Some of the passions I bring into the ministry are a desire for creative and innovative worship, preaching, teaching. I also love working with laity and staff and helping to envision a future. And for us, it'll be a future of a post-COVID world. In addition to that, I like working with children and youth, supporting the ministry that Jeremy and the others are doing in that area. But also, I'd love being able to engage in the community and build relationships and bridges with people in the community. And I know that's been a part of your strength as we share the gospel together. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our family. We have 3 children. Diane is our oldest, and she and her husband Adam and our 2-year-old grandson Isaac live in St. Louis. Our second daughter Rachel lives in New York City, and our son Connor and his wife Maria live in Charlottesville. And when we move into the parsonage in Hurricane, we will be bringing our adorable little dog, our Westie, named Maisie. I invite you to join me in a prayer covenant for this time of transition as we covenant to pray daily for the grants, for us, and for the church, and for the future of ministry together. I look forward to being with you starting in July. May God bless you, and look forward to being together. Amen.